Welcome back to Wet Your Palate. We got our special guest today, Brad Leone. He's a chef, but he does a hell of a lot more than that online, on his own channels. Tons of great shows, great content, great information. He's got an awesome perspective on the world of food from really the whole chain of supply. And we go into that on Go With Your Palate. So thank you for being here, Brad.
Oh, it was my pleasure, man. And anything to help kind of just push the needle and in food and people coming together through the universal language of food.
We got deep into fermentation. We were talking East Coast, West Coast living.
Love it. It's right up our alley because getting people around a table, getting people around, each other, back into a community, food, wine, culture, everything, it all comes together. Throw some music in there, makes it a nice feeling. Especially with kids, man. It's like I've got kids too, and any kind of outdoor activity you can do with them. And like I've got like I've got six. But
wait, hold on a second. You have 6 children?
Yeah.
God bless you. God bless you.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to you about that for the next hour and a half. You psychopath. That's amazing. All jokes aside, that's incredible to you and your partners. I mean, my gosh. How do you do it? You must have, what do you drive, a bus?
The hardest part was when all of them were in car seats. I don't know what it's like, where you live, but like you're keeping kids in car seats until they're like 8 years old now. And so there were 6 car seats in like, suburban sized vehicle. And man, talk about a pain in the ass. But overall now, like the oldest are 20 and got an 18-year-old in college too. And twins are 20. Yeah, it's a blast. But,
awesome.
Yeah, the fishing and hunting is like with some of the boys, man. They don't even realize it that you're having like real conversations with them, and they're just distracted by casting or whatever it might be, and those are like the moments. Like you sit them down at a table, and they're like, "Oh, this is boring." They're not even paying attention, trying to like have a deep conversation, but you get to do this shit out like on a boat. Yeah, that's where the gravy.
Yeah, it's been really great, man. I grew up fishing and hunting. When I was younger, got out of it, and then got back into it. And now that my kids they're in May, they'll be 10 and 8, and 2 boys, and they're both now like really into. They liked it a little bit the past couple of years. Last year was like the big click, and then like we're geared up. I bring one of his buddies out from school, and he's like my favorite little kid. He's so fired up, and like he's just so fishy and appreciative, and like it's going out with the kids, man. You're right. It's the absolute best. I haven't been able to bring them hunting yet. I like the idea of maybe putting them in a little blind or something. They're not sitting still. I'm chasing whitetails and turkeys and stuff. So like, a couple more years, but in the future, I can't wait, man. Because you're right. There's so much more to it than, I love catching fish and eating deer and whatever. But it's church, man. It's my religion, that Mother Nature getting out there, and whether it's on the ocean or sitting in a tree stand and having a red-tailed hawk fly 2 feet past your face, like, that's it for me, man. And be able to share that with your kids is kind of special.
That's super cool. Yeah, they, like you said, like the bug, right? And I think some kids either they have it kind of incubating or they don't have it at all, but bringing it out. But like once you see a click, like, and you were talking about yourself where you grew up in the outdoors, fishing, hunting, and then got away from it, and then got back into it like a couple years back, 10 years ago.
Yeah. So, it's probably a pretty classic story, for maybe for some folks, right? Where it's like, was really into it when I was younger, and, had a little John boat with a bunch of friends on the lakes and stuff. I didn't live by the ocean. We were a couple hours away in New Jersey, northern New Jersey. So going to the beach, going down the shore was a bit of a trip. We did it every now and then, my dad, but like, it was like an all day thing, crazy. But yeah, like got into it, did it with him and as a kid, and then like got into high school, and for better or worse, just, other things, didn't get in much trouble, but certainly flirted with it, chasing girls and doing, I'm sure you could figure it out, and just, but having fun and being a good kid about it. But then, yeah, man, and, a whole lot happened in between there, and got back into it after I left New York City, probably at the age of 35, 36.
That's
Yep.
gotta be hard to do in New York City, man. Especially if you're in the restaurant scene, right? And
Luckily, I wasn't in too much of a restaurant scene. I mean, I certainly worked in a bunch and did, familiar in a professional kitchen. But what I really kind of found when I got into culinary, I guess let's just back up real quick. So like I grew up in northern New Jersey, and really I loved gardening and cooking and eating, but and I worked at some delis and a catering company and a Mountain Creek ski resort and shit like that. But I was never, I want to be head chef. I want to go work at a restaurant. In fact, restaurants are hard, man. It's one of the hardest jobs. Commercial kitchens, shitty hours, long, bad pay, usually nights and weekends. You basically got to work when everyone else is having fun. And, when you're in your 20s and stuff like that's not cool. Like everyone's going out to the bar, or your girlfriend's going out and you got to work every day. That ain't going to work out for me. So I really wanted to get into food media and food education and, my naive, and still maybe I'm still chasing it in a way, was to get into reinstituting home economics in schools and stuff, and just teaching kids how to cook. And YouTube wasn't a thing. Instagram wasn't a thing for me then, or I was pretty late to it. But then when I went to culinary school in Manhattan, and ended up doing an internship at Bon Appétit magazine, food magazine in New York, where I did an internship and eventually ended up working as in the test kitchen. And that was that's when print was still very much a thing. The magazine print was still kind of king there, but digital was a very big presence, and video and stuff started to become more and more. And right place, right time, right attitude, I guess. And because I had this whole life experience before, I didn't jump to New York till I was about 27. So I was roofing houses and doing all kinds of I was a union glazer and had lived a bunch of different paved roads and, did a bunch of jobs where, the writing on the wall, if I didn't make some changes, and not that there's anything wrong with those careers or paths. In fact, you can nowadays, those people tend to make the most money, but, I didn't want to do that. And, and I was surrounding myself with a bunch of people it wasn't going nowhere, man. My boss was a loser. The people I was working with were losers and drug addicts and, So I just took this risk and moved to New York and did that thing at Bon Appetit. And like I said, right place, right time. Video just it was that or get fired, man. So I just started. Turns out you got to be a little bit of a lunatic and to talk to a camera. But I had great people I was working with. This dude Vinny at the time. He was the camera guy and good edit team. And that's man. That's how It's Alive was the first YouTube thing I ever did. And it was a Bon Appetit show, and it was awesome, man. I learned a lot, and I still kind of do a version of it for the most part. But that was years ago. I'm 40, going to be 41 in May, so I've been doing it for a bit now, and it's been awesome, dude. It's awesome to be able to, I'm now on my own and have my own production company and shows, and it's cool, man. It's a blast.
Yeah, you're controlling your own destiny, making your own schedule. I mean, that's probably the biggest luxury in life.
Oh, I'll tell you what, man, because exactly when I was living in northern New Jersey, and it's everyone. Everyone did this. My dad, my friends' dads, everyone's dads and moms for that matter. You commuted, man. I had to drive an hour to go do, install windows in Hoboken, and we laugh, but it's man, that's taxing. That's unhealthy.
Yeah,
spending that much time not only for your back and your circulation, but just. Man, you do that for 25 years, it's not nothing. And, I saw my dad do it and God bless him. I don't know how he did that every single day and then work the job after. So just to make, ends meet there. But to your point, and punching a clock and being on time, and if you're late, guess what? We'll fucking replace you. Sorry for cursing, but that was
no,
the world.
please keep the cursing.
That was the jobs that I had. That was the career that was in. There was no lunch. There's no going out to lunch or going and you know what I mean. I was working construction, and it was hard, but I learned a lot, man. And I guess what I'm rambling on at was that it built a lot of character. In just so when I was an intern and all the other interns were. I don't know how old are interns, 18 years old or something,
Yeah.
or I don't, even if they're 20, I don't care, whatever. I think I stood out because I had this work ethic, whereas like I'll wash the dishes, I'll go shop, I'll do anything you want. I mean, I was shingling a roof in fucking August last month. Like, this is the best. Like, and I was learning, man. That's where I really got exposed to, and I'll always be grateful to Bon Appetit and the people that I worked with there was the exposure to ingredients. And like, you're in New York, which is amazing. You can get absolutely anything, any culture almost, right? But like it wasn't a restaurant where it was like, all right, we're an Italian restaurant, we're a Mexican restaurant. Sure, the menu changes, but we were covering places and chefs from around the world. And it like really was awesome, man, to like kind of see that exposure of people and just the world and the culture and how much is out there. So to be able to now make videos on my own and be able to kind of dabble into showcase that, right, has been awesome.
Well, that is awesome. Yeah, I mean, to your point, the like I'll take work ethic over education any day of the week with somebody that's like, willing to show up, try new things, open-minded, and just driven, man. And I think anything's possible still in America. I think we still got the American dream, man, and that really starts with work ethic. I think we should introduce you.
I think that would be that's the time before we dive deeper.
I just told my whole life story.
You told a little bit about your beginnings at Bon Appetit, but now So we got chef and YouTuber. I'm not sure exactly how you like to be described as far as your title, but Brad Leone. So pleasure to have you on Go With Your Palate. Of course, you got me, Joe Wagner, and my co-host Chris Fat Mario Rubio. We're gonna dig in a little bit deeper and talk about what else you've been doing, because you're doing your own production company. You've got shows like Local Legends, Making It, and whatever else you're getting your hands tied into that brings your world together and exposes it to a broad audience. So I'd imagine pretty inspiring to a lot of your viewers.
Right on. Thank you guys, man. And it's I don't slow down too much to really think about it or digest it, but like, yeah, thank you. It has been awesome to touch a lot of people in ways with food and just, entertainment and just being a human, so it is cool. There's a lot of negativity on surrounded social media and online and stuff, but man, there's a lot of really good too. And, it's kind of been proof of it, so yeah, well, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Great. Well, yeah, I mean, I think, why don't we just take it off from like, you were mentioning you were born and raised in New Jersey. You're now living on the coast.
Northern New Jersey. You got to be very specific.
I lived in Union City. I get it.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I lived in Union City too.
Oh, man. Yeah, really? So, okay, cool.
Well, hold on. So, as a West Coaster, I got to know a little bit about. So, what is Northern New Jersey versus the rest of New Jersey? Is that
well, I mean,
hard city life?
Basically, just a bunch of ego in a small state. And New Jersey is just it's a very diverse state geographically. You got the southern like sandy pine bearings and dunes and beach. The Appellation Trail and the Rocky Mountains kick through the northern part and the Delaware Water Gap where I grew up, where it's like you might as well be out in Montana. Not really, not as I think you get what I'm saying. Very rural, farmland, old dairy farms and stuff. And then you got like central north, right? Which is like when you fly, when they fly into Newark, it's like, apocalypse, it's just crazy, like it's oil refineries. And as far as you can see, there's flames coming out of pipes and there's 17 acres of shipping containers stacked in New York City in the background. So northern is like, to me, I'll give you a very specific answer. Northern New Jersey is north of Morristown. And then central, I mean, whatever, who cares? That's like by Philly and in that area. And then south is like down the shore, man. I don't know, like Point Pleasant down, I guess? I don't know. No, not even Point Pleasant. I would say like Asbury. You hit Sandy Hook, you're down the shore.
That's like, that was, you did it the best.
That was like that's
great. You get it?
Yeah, that was a geographical lesson that I didn't even need a map for. That was great.
It's all the vibe. It's all the vibe you get.
Union City, where these two fine gentlemen once resided, that is right across the river there above Hoboken, and it's a pretty wild spot, man. It was once, if not still, outside of Miami, like the densest Cuban population in America.
Oh, really?
And it's just a really cool old like history. It's kind of whatever now, but like 'cause back in the day, I think it was a pretty neat spot.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you see, so I was out there, like I moved out there in 2015, Cali boy all my life. This was my first kind of East Coast experience. First I moved to Chelsea, New York, and then I wanted to buy a first house, and obviously it wasn't going to be in Manhattan, so I went, to Union City. I wanted to go to Hoboken, but then Hoboken prices, if you even know that, they're just like vibing just like Manhattan. So anyways, ended up in Union City, but yeah, man, that was the first time that you're walking around, and that's where you could buy like the live chickens, and they'd just cut the heads off right there. Oh yeah, it was wild. And you hear them, and then there would be like garages open where people had their own stores. Kind of like that was the true pop up, right? Like where you could like go in and find anything. Man. Like you're like, what are you selling today? It's not a garage sale; it's a store.
It's definitely a spot. But I lived there for a little bit, and yeah, New Jersey's cool, man. But yeah, grew up in northern New Jersey, up in Sussex County. Like I said, we're like really pretty, where the Appellation Trail comes right through the tip.
Okay,
and, it's one of the nicest spots. I've never walked the whole Appellation Trail, but I've met people who have done the whole thing. It's not funny at all, but this story, one time I was up on the Appellation Trail because it was like right in my backyard, essentially, right? And you would see these hikers, and there was this one spot where there's these beautiful cliffs and stuff. And I saw this guy up there, and you could tell he's like walked around the world. You know what I mean? Like he was just like, his dog had like saddlebags like strapped to him, and like he looked like Jesus Christ, but he was like 85 years old, and he said he was just doing it by himself, and he just came out of nowhere, and he was like, yeah, it's my 6th time doing the Appalachian Trail, and he goes, I got to tell you, this part is one of the prettiest parts in the whole hike, and it always stuck with me. So northern New Jersey, man.
Well, that's a testament, man. Yeah, 6 times in northern New Jersey. I'm gonna have to get out there and take a look. I've only been exposed to the city life of New Jersey, really. So whenever I'm out there, it's for sales. Yeah. But so after New Jersey, what kind of route did you take to eventually get into culinary, and then I mean you've always been to the outdoors, and that's still a big part of your life.
Yeah. Just like I said, I went to high school, and school wasn't really, I didn't excel in it. I tried to go to community college after, because you kind of had there was so much pressure. Everyone had to go to college to, like, back then, at least, maybe now, I don't know, but it was like,
those days
you were a
over.
loser if you didn't go to college.
Those days are over.
You were a loser if you didn't get $150,000 in debt to party.
Yeah, dude. He and I are on the same page. He has a degree, I don't.
Hey, listen,
but hey, I partied, dude. I partied, so I got proof. Okay, I graduated.
I'm sure, but listen, if I have this argument with my wife all the time. I'm not against school, but like you better be into it. You better be getting good grades and like playing the game of school, because it can open doors for you. But if you're just going to go, I don't know. It seems like a bad idea. So I went to culinary. I went to community college to oh God, I don't want to tell this too often, but to become a cop. And nothing against cops, but I just don't think it would have worked out for me. I wanted, because I've met so many like bad ones.
Yeah.
In northern New Jersey, the state troopers are notoriously not the best. And I like naively, like, or not even naively, but like I wanted to like become a cop to like be a good one. I could change a kid's life instead of throwing them in jail for smoking a joint. I could. Whatever.
Absolutely.
So that didn't work out. So I went for like a year, and then I just started working, and did a little stint in the military. That didn't work out, and then we'll keep that one brief, for God's sakes. And then And then I came back and was just doing construction, man, and moved in, got this house with these 2 girls that were rad friends, these crunchy girls from New Jersey, just roommates, and we shared a house, and I was doing construction. And then I eventually moved some buddies. We got another house, and up in the middle of the woods, old farmhouse stuff. And before you know it, I was 27 and, not really making too much money. But like, if I wanted to, I could, do this, you could make 70 grand in the union and just do that, or start your own business. And I just didn't really want to. And this sounds a little pretentious, or, I mean, whatever. I don't care. I always felt like like wanted to do or could do something like bigger or better than just. And I don't really like how that sounds.
No, that's not pretentious at all, dude. That's what more people need to think about right now, that they can do bigger or better. Yeah,
because it sounds like I feel like a dick saying it, but like I wanted to do something. Like I always felt like I was going to do something big or better, and then eventually I remember this girl, I was gardening, and she was like, she came down, she's like, why don't you like go to culinary school? You cook all the time here, and you're always gardening and you love it so much. And I was like, maybe she's right, man. Like, and like, just like, maybe I'll just and then I just like took a loan out and moved to New York. I found an apartment on Craigslist. I happened to meet my girlfriend at that time, who she was already living in Brooklyn and had like an awesome job. Like she was like squared away, she was like working for Jessica Simpson as like her like marketing manager. And like, I had this like serious, awesome job, and she's my wife now. It worked out. And, yeah, but like, so it was this like crazy timing of like, where I was doing this anyway, but then it was really helpful to like, oh, your girlfriend also has her own apartment, like down the road from where you found your apartment. So it was like that was pretty cool. And, New York was a blast, and culinary school was fine. I was cooking at some restaurants there, the Standard Grill in Manhattan, and there's this really great place in Greenpoint, Brooklyn called Enid's. Rest in peace. I think it closed, but it was just like a greasy spoon bar restaurant, but it was awesome. And then I got the internship at Bon Appétit, man, and it just kind of started to snowball from there.
So that once you got exposed to video and you saw the opportunity there, that's when you just started running, and now you're sitting on a plethora of history when it comes to content that you've created and continuing to make more content.
Yeah, for sure. It was kind of one of those things. Like I was just it was an opportunity. I wasn't the best food writer or recipe developer. I mean, I was good, but it wasn't like I wasn't gonna become the editor in chief. Although I do think I would make a good one, but I don't think it was happening. And like the business was changing and things were changing, and like I was just grateful that it was working. And like in this growing genre in this company that I worked for, which was starting to become the most important thing in all of media, and there was smaller companies doing it, and like we were honestly kind of playing catch up to what some smaller publications and companies were doing, but it worked. And we had this perfect little storm of a test kitchen with personalities. And I didn't think it was going to work. I didn't like the first couple of things they shot of me. I was like, I look like a doofus. Like this is terrible.
Wait, was the kombucha the first one?
Yeah. Yep. And I was like, I was kind of self-conscious. I was like, this is how I act. Like, I wouldn't want to, this sucks, guys. Like I got a little, so I know, but like we changed some of the editing of it, and eventually it just kind of took a leap of faith, and then it worked. People liked it. And then there was other personalities in the kitchen, and it became like this whole little ecosystem, this little short-lived ecosystem of YouTube shows and personalities. And it was great, man. Had a blast. It's unfortunate that it ended, but all things end for a reason. Everybody's doing their own thing, which is great. Including myself, man. So after that, that was kind of, pandemic started happening when I was, I guess like, yeah, New York and the pandemic, it was weird for everybody. It was really strange then too. Like just everyone was working from home, and you didn't have to go to the kitchen anymore, to the office anymore. Sorry, do you guys hear that chicken? I have like these little baby. Okay, cool.
No, you got baby chickens back there now?
Yeah, it's too cold for him still to go outside with the bigger ones.
He's already prepping for his meals in November.
Yeah, well, the egg layers, man, they take a little while, the chicks, to like several weeks before you can put them outside.
Yeah, especially with the cold weather you guys got up there.
Yeah, exactly. We're not in Napa, buddy. So it was 21 degrees this morning.
Oh my God.
Shit.
Yeah.
Which is unusual. I'm over it, man. I'm ready for it.
We're supposed to be in spring right now, but this whole week has been high 80s. So
no, we're gonna be like 96 here.
Yeah,
it's
okay. Thanks.
It's not.
Yeah, we missed that.
Is that a problem for your spring? Like, is that going to
yeah, we're going to be in a drought here. It's going to be just another California drought year. But you know what? It's not the first one. It won't be the last. We tend to get through it. But no, you mentioned something I think that is I think worth going back to. Number one, kind of like we are our own self-critics, biggest self-critics, right? First time you saw yourself on video, you're like, that's what I act like, you know? And I think that what I think is great is that, you know, you went ahead with it because most people just say like, I don't like it. And I'm gonna, you know, not do this again. But it doesn't matter what you think or what I would think about myself, right? It matters what everybody else thinks. And so being able to like stay consistent, even just for a couple of like shoots like that, and then seeing what the reaction is, and obviously the reaction was positive to what you were doing, and that, you know, without that little like bit of grit and just push to do it again and again, I mean, maybe it would have pulled out and gone to something else. I mean, I think that's something people don't recognize enough is like, you know, don't just try it once, try it like, you know, 10 times, see if you really don't like it, but. Yeah,
I think that's great advice, man. And you're 100% right. And it's something I haven't really thought of. Like, that was such a pivotal moment for me in my career. And that it was something that I didn't even really like. You know what I mean? If it was just me, if I didn't have a team that was supporting me, encouraging this idea, I probably wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? And like, who knows what would have happened? Or, you know what I mean? Like,
you can still be roofing in August.
That's it, man. That's it. And then owning my own company. Yeah, I'd probably be making more money. Who knows?
I thought it was a real magical moment, though, too, that time when you were doing It's Alive, because I think it was, people were really looking for, I feel like they're always looking for authenticity, but in social media world, now it's kind of gotten a little blurred. But like then, I feel like it was great to see someone so genuine and also bringing humor to things and kind of this behind the scenes. And and especially with a hot topic like fermentation, you're doing like kombucha, and we're kind of like, then the knowledge started kind of coming out about our ancestors and, you know, why they were doing such great things for our body back then that now we're trying to get back to. So I don't know. I thought it was really great, and I think, you know, the fans and the people speak, you know, because they really loved it, and I think it's just kind of, I see it just kind of how it's evolved through the rest of your content has been awesome. So.
Well, thank you, man. That's very kind. And, you know, I guess I just kind of suffer from, and like it's whatever kind of success that I have had with it, like a little bit, and this is common I've found, but like a little bit of like imposter syndrome with it. Like I'm not the best cook. I'm not the best at anything. But to your point too, like you don't have to be. And like, and I think you're right. I think can you grab that chicken? Because their editor is going to hear that. Sorry, I was talking to my wife.
Do we get to see a chicken?
You got to get that chicken.
Yeah, can we get on camera?
Your wife can bring it on camera. I mean, how?
We just get one chick on here, like one chick.
I want to see the chick.
Yeah, we want to see this hot chick.
They're babies.
Yeah, babies.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, awesome.
They're like a week and a half old or something.
So a week and a half old.
Are you raising them for laying?
Thank you.
Yeah, egg layers.
Nice, great.
Oh. We got a good small flock now, but you know, things like to eat chickens.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, can't leave them out.
But yeah, I feel like we were talking about something really nice, and I agreed with it.
The authenticity.
Yeah, the imposter syndrome of like of success there, where it's just like, sure, I'm aware and I'm working hard, but like things happen, and to your point, I think it is that approachability and just like, because we all are, just that human element of cooking is so important, right? Where like every chef is going to screw things up and like little loosey goosey fun with it. And I guess I am a little bit of a kooky character, you know what I mean? Like it's a weird thing to, I don't know, like I don't really watch YouTube too much, you know, unless I need to like figure out how to like replace the O-ring on this Rode microphone or something. You know what I mean? Like,
that's why we got Art and Chad in the back.
Yeah,
we don't do that.
Like, I don't really more and more because it's becoming so amazing and there's so much on it. But like 2 generations before me, I'm like a 40-year-old, 60-year-old guy, you know, and like, but like everyone else, young and especially the younger kids. I mean, my kids even are. Everyone knows is crushing YouTube and different, you know, different types of creators and content and stuff like that. So it became, and when I started, I felt like it wasn't quite there yet. It was still a very elementary stage of that, like online, like, personality driven creator. And maybe I was just late to it. I'm sure there was a lot going on already, but like, at least in my world, it was like, it did seem to like, and then just kind of pop. And then like a lot of people started doing a lot of it. And it's great. There's so much out there. Something for everyone, man. And it's fun to always try to be able to, I'm now just trying to figure out ways to like change and like, and maybe evolve or develop a show, a little different of a show or something, or, like, I love what I'm doing and I love the brands and the cooking and stuff, but like, yeah, it's fun to try to find new ways to do it as well and diversify this, crazy business of content. I never in a million years, if you asked me when I was living in a farmhouse in New Jersey or in high, hey Brad, you're going to be an online personality, like a YouTube creator? Yeah. Not in a billion years. What is
YouTube?
Well, and it's just like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I was never going to start a show in my own basement and edit it. You know what I mean? Like, it clicked for me and it worked. And it's been really cool to meet a bunch of great people that I work with now under my own team, right? Editor and camera guy and, and a lot of freelance people that we will hire on the road, it's really fun, man.
How often do you, like if you were to kind of take your style, your preferred style, of what you do in your shows, like obviously being able to have some storytelling involved, maybe some history on what you're making, like how do you feel like there's a limit and complication that you try to stay away from so that people don't feel too intimidated? Or
I think that comes by nature with me. I mean, I'm not really cooking too much crazy stuff, but to be honest, like a lot of things are a lot more approachable than it seems. And I think having someone that can cook it and, not measure the olive oil with you and make a mistake, like a lot of the stuff now, and for people that are familiar with the show, it's probably pretty obvious, but a lot of the times it's the first time I've cooked it, like I don't, and like, it's now just kind of running on into, if there's something that's a little complicated or it needs to be developed, I like to try to cook it a few times or at least once, for God's sakes. Right.
Yeah.
But I do like the approachability and the ride of like cooking something. We're just cooking, let's not overthink it here. We're not making,
I'm with you. That's like,
we're not making microchips here.
Yeah. When some of those shows get overly complicated, and like, I grew up learning from both my mom and dad. My mom is much more of a recipe cook. My dad was much more like what's in the fridge, what's fresh. And so kind of getting a little bit of balance there. But yeah, we're just making food. Like it's sustenance, but you want to make it pretty, you want to make it taste good. All those things added on to it. But yeah, don't overcomplicate it. And man, there are plenty of things that I've seen where it's like, Jesus Christ, you don't need to prep your, asparagus by cutting off the lower half inch and peeling just that. And like, it gets kind of
listen,
like
if that's your culinary kink,
yeah,
there's plenty of it out there. You know what I mean? Like there's so much of everything, which is kind of cool too. Cause I'm with you. Like I'm more of a jazz. I don't even want to read a recipe. Maybe I'll look at it for a little inspiration or something like that. But like, I just like cooking. I'm more of an ingredient dork, I that's kind of like where I really, as I cook more and more, and I think I'm the best cook I've ever been currently, and it really just comes down to like a few fundamental principles and techniques, some intuition that has gained over time with timing of cooking and just preparation and certain things. But really it's simple cooking with just the best ingredients you can get. And, I do a lot of gardening and like we were talking about hunting and fishing, and man, once you get like a taste of the good stuff, like it's hard to go to like, you see how bad a lot of it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever thought about putting out a book of some sort or even like a show where you're actually doing just that? These are like the simple, like I'm not going to simplify it too much, but like these are the 50 things you need to know about everything from how to cook these types of proteins, the heat that you need your oil to be at.
I mean, it's a good idea. And there's probably 700 books that do that already. And to be honest, it would probably sell well. It's just something I don't want to do.
Yeah. I mean, even doing it as an episode, I mean, that's like we didn't have that. We're similar age. Like we didn't have the ability to just pop like online and find information about that. And like it's so much easier now. But back in the day, like if I was trying to learn how to do something, as far as cooking, I was reading books and like 90+% of them were just, I was like, dude, I can't, like this doesn't make any sense. Like that, I mean, it made sense, but like they've overcomplicated it. But then there are a few books where like, you're just like, oh yeah, this simplifies everything. I mean, even I got like The Joy of Cooking. That old that was given to me like 18 years old, and like fucking simple. You're like, okay, this all makes sense, logical, but still, it like just everyday cooking made simple.
Oh, I mean that's your legendary book series there, and couldn't agree more. And I think it's just a personality type, I guess, right? Like when it comes to baking bread, or if I want to figure out, this type of certain things, baking, you got your measurements, right? We're using a scale. The recipes are real. If I just want to make shrimp stir fry, like we're good. I'm not measuring my soy sauce, or, you know what I'm saying? Like some people like that and need that and do their mise en place. And, I'm sure their houses are very organized, and like, but for me, it's more of a jazz with, but you know how to play the instrument. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of jazz? Like you're a master of the instrument, but untraditional methods.
Yeah.
Something.
What is your favorite thing? Like, do you have a cuisine type that you really are into, or is that like kind of does that migrate from one to another over your career?
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. To be honest, it's really a big old collage of a lot of stuff. I mean, it's hard to not really love, Japanese cuisines and certain, Southeast Asia, Vietnamese cuisine. And I mean, I like them all, man. And I'm really just a mutt of them all, good Indian cuisine, good anything, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's the best. But I mean, and then there's, then there's Mexico, which is huge and has so many diversity in food alone, or China for that matter. My God, like there's so much. It's really hard to put into a thing, but yeah. I mean, I'm a sucker for some noodle. I'm a sucker for some Asian food.
Yeah,
I'm in it.
Well, you're in the right part of the world, for at least the U.S. for that. Like, I mean, San Francisco's got decent, but like we really don't have anything here in Napa.
Well, you got good ingredients, man, and you got there's a lot of good stuff growing. So I mean, like back to the beautiful things of books and YouTube, you could learn how to make some really good pho or some noodles, or you know what I mean, like, and make it at home. Especially in California. I mean, screw you guys. You guys grow the best stuff year round. Like it's unbelievable. I know you're in a little bit of a drought coming up, it seems, but like, always been jealous of the grow season and what you guys can grow out there. So as far as a chef, like it's kind of like a culinary playground, it seems.
Yeah, we got the weather for it, definitely.
Well, I think it's great. We've been talking about like such the importance of ingredients, and now we're talking about growing, and we just had someone on talking about, like, for us, there's an important in growing grower relations, where the grapes are coming from. And local legends, I think it was like a great show of yours because, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was, I'd heard it explained before, like you want to find out like who's making those best carrots and where are they coming from and what that grower's life is like, or the great fish that you're getting from the spearfisher, and spending that time with them. It really gives us insight. So please, I would like to hear more.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's my favorite stuff to make. Also happens to be more expensive to make and harder to make. And, like it's all of the above. You're traveling, everything adds up with that, right? I'm not just shooting in my studio, but it's my absolute favorite, man. And like, ideally what I would love, and I am doing in a way, is really local legends. A good handful of the episodes in every season are around agriculture or food, because I just love the stories and it's so important and it's so fragile, and we're at such a critical spot, it seems, in the world of farming and food infrastructure. Like, I feel like there's so much to be told. To be honest, it's just, and I'm not the best at it, but I'm trying, and I really enjoy telling other people's stories. I do enough yapping about myself and food. It's great to show some, I guess what it stems from is like chefs got all the attention, for a long time. at least like on, a Food Network or Celebrity Chef this or Chef that. Yes, Chef this. And like, what about the guy who's, growing the pigs or all the spinach? Like, that's the real man. I mean, like that's, I don't want to say the real star, but it's certainly a very critical component of it. It's, the headstone of it. So, I mean, I love being able to kind of go out and get out in the field, see how it's done, see the people who have, poured their lives into it. And it's hard. And especially nowadays where you hear so much bad about farming and people selling the farms and, outside countries buying up all the farmland. And like, I don't know, it just seems like a really fragile system right now. And we're built on such a fertile one. America has always was and had so much potential to where humans have really.
Well, just home growing has people have gotten so far away from it. I mean, 50 years ago and beyond, it was very common to every year you had a garden. And now it's kind of like, I mean, here in California, I think more people do have gardens. You just don't see it as often anymore where like I mean, I don't put anything on my garden. Like my tomatoes they don't even need like sulfur. I've never had a mildew problem. It's just everything always works out. But it's
we get it. You live in California, dude. We get it.
I'm not trying
to. Your garden's great. We get it.
I'm not trying to make you jealous. Hey, guess what? You get to get up in the morning. You can go jump on your boat and go fishing in the Atlantic. I don't get to fucking do that. All right.
That's true. And my gardening is very nice. So I would love to do a garden showdown with you.
I would love to see.
I pride myself in my garden.
Hey, do you have a greenhouse?
No, but it's something that we have. I do want to invest in the idea of. So we have this really cool. I live on this old. The house was built in 1750.
No way.
And yes, but it's completely redone for the most part. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just the old stone bones and wood of it, but everything else is obviously not that old. But anyway, there's this old. We have like an oil furnace for heat and stuff, but there's also this big outdoor wood furnace that the guy had installed. They're pretty common in like cold areas and stuff where you kind of just like load it once a day, large format. And it's basically this big cast iron stove that's like surrounded in, a couple 100 gallons of water that it heats to like 200 degrees and then pumps it into your house. And it does your hot water, it does your heat, and whatever. So the guy before me used to have he heated a pool with it too. The pool's no longer there. But it got me thinking, it's just a little heat transfer and the plumbing's there. I want to do a greenhouse and just run the water pipes through it on the floor or something and have wouldn't cost me anything because I'm already doing it, like a radiant heat all year. I'll be growing that California citrus in Connecticut type of thing.
I like that idea.
That's the plan. Yeah.
That's cool. Man. Yeah. No, we don't have those over here, but could you also tie like I don't know, like could you turn that into like a smoker as well?
Yeah. Probably, man.
Using your furnace for your garden and your smoker, you just like self-sustained awesomeness.
You probably, actually not a bad idea. It would probably just be a little, I don't know how I would have to divert the smoke out. It would be easier to just use my smoker.
Yeah.
But I like where your head's at.
Yeah. Well, hey, when you went through, you had mentioned the pandemic a little earlier, and so I was kind of curious about this because we were not into like the media game at all prior to the pandemic. The pandemic is really what put us into like in front of a screen and telling our story and finding new avenues to get people engaged and learning about our wines and whatever else. So that was a whole new thing for us. But for you, you were already entrenched in working in the world of media to bring your love of the culinary arts to life and exposing that to people. Did you see the pandemic as like a big catalyst to like more of a, just maybe not a catalyst, but a huge ramping up in viewership? People are curious doing stuff at home.
Is this really the end? Unbelievable. Find out next week.